Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to this call of the SHE-ED program. We have a call every month. The SHE-ED is Eco-Village Design Education courses for women with tools of matriarchal communities, with tools of the Work to Reconnect, with tools of Transition Town Movement. The course is really a Gaia education course that we're giving throughout all around the world, but this one is specifically done for women. So SHE-ED is really a new format, a new module in which the point is to empower women through also, the values of matriarchal societies. So this is what we are doing, and in this series, I mean, I have studied matriarchal societies with Heide Gürtner Abendroth, and today I have Jennifer with us. She is another student of Hagi Academy, and let me share the screen with you. So this is an online circle, and the subject that we are going to be talking about creating community through weaving and hearth gatherings. And this is really something, I mean, I was so excited when Jennifer told me about her project in Crete, and so I asked her to join us for this call. So today we're going to be, this is the program, so I'm welcoming you. There is just a little presentation in which I would like to talk about our next SHE-ED. We have two SHE-ED, one in Portugal at the end of May. It's an 8 days project. And then there is going to be one at the end of November, which is a month SHE-ED, which is held in a community called Nashira in Colombia. It's a matriarchal community. 80 families of women have been in the last 20 years working in a matriarchal mode and modality. So we're going to be going there in November. It's a course open to everyone. We had scholarships. And so this is really, we are planning to be there by November. So I don't know if this is, this is what we are going to be doing in Portugal. The course is going to be from May 23rd to May 31st. It is the ecological dimension. I mean, we have divided the course that usually is a 30 days course in weekly programs because it's much easier to have a week off than a month off. So, and we are in each module, we are looking at one dimension of the humankind. So we have, in this case, it's going to be the ecological, but we have the cultural, the social, and the economic dimension. And we have been doing this in the last year. So every year, the first three, we had them in Narni in Italy. And the fourth one is going to be in this beautiful community held by Sophia. And it's here that we will have our next course. I don't know if Sophia has arrived yet. I don't see Sophia, so I will probably, it was my idea to have her talk to us about Portugal, but
Yeah,
maybe.
she's coming. She has a technical problem. I tried to get her in, so she's coming
But
in a minute.
okay, wonderful. So maybe Corey, you've been one of the, now she's facilitating with us courses. You can tell us a little bit about the SHE-ED, and then we'll give the ball to Sophia for just a quick wrap up of
Sure.
what we're doing, because we don't want to take a lot of time and we want to give all the attention to Jennifer. Please, Corey, and then hello, Sophia, you're there. So maybe after Corey, you can talk just a little bit about Portugal, and then we'll go into our call.
Yeah.
Sure. So the CDE is amazing, of course. I was in the first CDE, and I have to say it really changed my life because I was introduced to a new world, and I was very angry that I didn't know about all these tools and all these important things not only women, all of us should know. So when Sabina asked me last year to join the project, I was like, yes, I want to join it. I want to spread this knowledge because we all should really learn about this and we should spread the knowledge. So I can only say that it's so rich. The course, the full course, if you do the certification, is 4 weeks, but if you do 1 week, it's already so rich. You can take so much into your own life and yeah, no matter if you're, I think no matter if you want to build a community or if you just continue in your normal life, these tools are so amazing to use in your daily life and to spread and to share with others. Yeah, if you want me to go into more detail about the tools, I don't think we have the time, but really, really check them out. And yeah, yeah, that's all for now, what I can say. I'm really happy that, yeah, you're all here. Maybe I give the word to Sophia because you can go into detail what will happen in Portugal at the fourth module. Yes, Sophia, please.
Sophia, you're muted.
Okay, I'm here. My phone is not in my side today. Hi everyone. Thank you so much to organize this once again, Sabina, and for all. And I think for 2 days I'm already talking. I'm kind of with all the emotion of coming back more deep into this project because I was a participant when Corey was also, but by that time I was already helping Sabina in the communication. And and since then, I really wanted to use all the tools to construct what I want to build in my own land. I have a small forest, and I'm already building there, already thinking about what I've learned, and it's a community inside of the community because all the village is already a community with whom I already interact, and for me it was just the way to bring Shidi to Portugal. And finally, we're having Shidi coming in May to the ecological dimension. And I'm so happy to have all of you that are coming, of course, here, but also to be again with Sabina and Corey and to meet finally in presence other facilitators with whom I already been in contact. And in here is the space. Yesterday, I was in a presentation and kind of want to bring the story because it was about the water. And we really connect with the water more deeply than just thinking about the river. We went to feel the water inside of us and how water feels in us and how we relate to them. Because have in this ecological dimension, I said to Sabina, I need people to go and look the water in that space because this is in a reservation area, a preserve area of Portugal, and they have a lot of water under the land that working and that I'm the guardian. I don't like to say the owner, I'm the guardian because I will die and the land go on there and all the trees and the rocks will stay there. There's a huge of water that is like a big cave under the land. And at the same time, there is no water around. No water around. Like in summer, I see the elders collecting water. I have observed how they do it, but I know that space had a lot of water before. And how do I bring more water to this land? How can I preserve more water? Uh, but of course, all the dimension is going to be around. There's always talking about the other dimensions, but if we look to this space of water and how in my land can be worked, but also how can we do it in our day life? And yesterday the conversation was about that, because there were people that were from the city, and for them was like, whoa, I never thought of that. I never thought that I can bring this knowledge of sustainability or a more community way of living and seeing into my area of. There is a city whatever.
We
Not
hardly can,
everyone has to
Sophia,
have
we hardly can,
land, but they can bring that to us. So
we
you
hardly
hardly
can
can hear
hear
me?
you. But I mean, thank you so much. I mean, the water is really the ecological dimension. In this case, is about building. It's about building sustainable in the land of Sophia. So what we are doing is we're also creating, we're helping communities to sort of grow with sustainable principles. So in this case, we are going to be going there and we're going to be working with water. So there's going to be me. I mean, I'm an architect, and a few other women that are architects, and we're going to be working with them in the project to help create a community. In this case, the issue is water, and we're going to be helping her, and also um, learn from the land, also from being in a permacultural course. So this is going to be our project. So I would like thank you so much. I mean, for the information. If you want to know more about Portugal, please go on our dancinggoddess.com, and you will have all the info. I would like to, at this point, so you see, this is the land where we're gonna be going. It's a very, very not rural place, and we're gonna be going there with tents, and do camping and look at the land, feel the land. It's also an experiential trip that we are doing in the SHE-EDEs, in all the eco-village design education. It is really a connection, reconnecting with Mother Earth, reconnecting with the spirit of the land, with the emotions, with our emotions in relationship to all the living and non-living creatures. So we will start this presentation, and thank you for the patience. I want to light a candle because this is how I open up any circle. So I'm lighting a candle to all of you. And, if you want to take a deep breath, and I would like to give thanks to that we are here together, and to the opportunity to be together. And I want to give thanks to all of you women that are here changing the world. We are power. We are very powerful together. So we reclaim feminine power, wisdom, and knowledge for all our relations. Blessed be and blessed do. So we need to do and we need to be. But I am really thinking that we should be all together in this, So I don't know if you can see my candle. It's to you that I am opening the circle, welcoming my dear friend Jennifer. I've always known Jennifer as Jennifer Moyles, but Jennifer is, in reality, I just discovered her name is a pen name, is the name of her mother's Estonian lineage. So Jennifer Eva Sirrel Pilau, and I'm very happy to be with you and be with your project. We'll be in this beautiful project that you are bringing to the land of Crete. So Jennifer is the mother of two wonderful children. She has a bachelor degree in business and administration, a master's degree in traditional Chinese medicine, and she has a certification in Ayurvedic practice and craniosacral therapy. She's certified at the Agya Academy, where we studied together matriarchal studies with Heide Gertner Abendroth. She is the founding member of the Council for the Revival of Matriarchal Arts in Crete, where Neolithic and Bronze Age egalitarian high society once thrived. So please, I present to all of you Jennifer, and welcome. And it's all for you to tell us about this wonderful project that you are working on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sabina. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And it's amazing to hear what you've all been up to as well, as so many of our colleagues have been. And I just wanted to make note too, you said I am the founding member, I'm a founding member, and two of our other founding members are here on the call. Elizabeth or Sean, whose screen says Bella, and Kirsten is here also. So I'm very pleased. These are just a couple of our founding council members. So I'd like to speak about the realm of matriarchal arts, the heart and earth of resilient communities. I'd like to share with you why I see matriarchal arts as a deep roots level of activism for meeting the disarray of our times. Not a quick fix for sure, but a thread by thread reweaving of a future that makes sense and is viable for humans as well as the earth. Having an issue with my, here we go. So this is an outline of where I'm going to go with my talk. So we'll talk about fire and what gathering around a hearth means for human communities. And I'll introduce or review, probably for everyone on this call, our understanding of matriarchy as outlined in the field of modern matriarchal studies and based on the 40 years of research by Dr. Heide Gertner Abendroth. And I'll explain why and how I'm using the expression matriarchal art to refer back to the definition and inner workings of matriarchal social patterns, and how practicing skilled arts can guide us back toward reweaving our intimate human relations as well as our broader cultural circumstances. I'm going to share several examples of art from around the world and from various epochs of time that convey these values. And I'll share a little bit about our activities as the Council for Revival of Matriarchal Art. So let's start with fire. I love that the word hearth linguistically embodies the words heart, earth, and art. This is where it all happens in a viable future, in my view. Fire has been central to human civilization for thousands of years. It catalyzes alchemical transformations. It turns raw foods into digestible nourishment, herbs into medicine, metal and clay into jewels and practical wares, and groups of people into communities. In traditional Chinese medicine, the fire element represents metabolic capacity and spirit. In some indigenous North American cultures, a gifting circle constitutes a fire alliance or friendly bond between parties. And since ancient times in India, the practice of fire gazing, tretaka, has been prescribed by health practitioners to soothe the mind, relax the nervous system, and heal the eyes. Fire provides ambient warmth and a central axis around which humans share nourishment, experiences, tell stories, dance, sing, celebrate, deliberate, and pray. A strong metabolic fire also burns away impurities, as a forest fire, when it's done properly, prepares the land for new growth. A hearth, then, is the warm and ambient space at the center of a home or community, where everyone belongs, where food is prepared and shared, and where handcrafts, festivities, rituals, and other communal activities take place. It's where human-to-human coherence is cultivated, as well as our capacity to care in a meaningful way for one another and the earth. So turning to the definition of matriarchy, the research-based definition of matriarchy as put forth by Dr. Gottner-Abendroth, in short, is a societal model that regards attuned maternal care as the prototype for social behavior at all levels. Social structures foster and encourage nurturance and reciprocity among people and Mother Earth. Life nurturing concerns and activities are located at the beginning of social, political, economic, and cultural priorities. So I just want to reiterate that the word matriarchy is applied not to suggest dominance of women, but to suggest an order of social practical priority, placing concerns for the tenderness of life at the center or at the beginning. It's a method of social organization that favors and enables care. So there are key features of matriarchal organization at all levels, social, economic, political, cultural, and spiritual, which there's a lot we can say about this, but I'm just going to give an overview before we go into the idea of matriarchal art. Socially, matriarchal societies are kinship-based. They're matrilineal, which means traced through the mother's line, and matrilocal, which means the offspring, women, girls and boys, women and men, live in or near the mother's clan house. And this provides for communal living as well as child rearing. So this means and provides that human needs at all ages and stages are provided for, as well as the earth. Care for the earth is considered a communal responsibility. In matriarchal societies, women have economic power, power as well as responsibility. Again, this is not a matter of dominance, but a matter of distribution. For this reason, women and children don't fall into poverty. This is a really important thing to consider in the paradigm that we live in. And women and children are not displaced or set adrift when romantic relationships don't work out for whatever reason. Matriarchies often work based on a gift economy, an economy that fosters relationships, an economy based on subsistence and reciprocity, and subsistence meaning enough, not scarcity. And they're locally and regionally based economies. So politics in matriarchal systems are consensus-based, often and egalitarian, consensus-based, egalitarian, oftentimes based on systems of councils or rotating leadership. And delegates report back directly to the heart of the community, to the people and to the clan mother. Minorities are not excluded by the majority because everyone is held in the circle. And there's no organized, militarized enforcement bodies. This also a really important point because it implies that there are ways to solve problems that don't involve violence, force, or coercion. Culturally, matriarchies are very rich in art, rituals, and festivities that celebrate cycles and seasons and human life. Rituals of giving and distribution are common. And what underpins all of these activities at all levels of the society is a spiritual and practical conviction that all life is sacred and therefore worthy of care and reverence. Feminine and masculine are understood as cosmic counterparts of holistic creation. Once again, I want to mention that this structure is not to privilege any group of people, such as women or mothers, or women and children, to the exclusion of men. That would actually be antithetical to matriarchal values as they're understood by Gottner-Abendroth's research. What is privileged is the right and responsibility to care for life and to actively tend life. So this is a simplified schematic of modern life in Western culture as we know it. It tends to look something like this, particularly in urban areas. So although we seem to have the world at our fingertips with technology, our sustenance comes from outside the home. Our eyes and our energy are primarily fixated outside of our immediate environment, which is often quite lonely and isolated. One could even say that our practical and relational skills have devolved as fulfillment of our needs have been outsourced to experts, business interests, politicians far removed from our lives, as well as to unknown and unseen workers and manufacturing conditions around the world. Our real work is outside the home, and our energy largely goes towards satisfying market demands. By contrast, matriarchal social patterns look more like this. Life is tended, nurtured, and skillfully protected by the clan or local community, which is generally networked, connected, and in cooperation with other clans or communities regionally. The concept of evolved nesting is an interesting field to look into. Based on neurobiology and evolutionary biology, psychologist Darsha Narvez has constructed scientifically based guidance for how and why communal nesting, nesting in harmony with nature, is a viable and necessary transformation for proper human development, for recovering both human and non-human vitality, and for constructing more humane communities. It stands to reason that as the metabolic core of our bodies requires proper tending, nutritious food, and love to keep us healthy and resilient, so too does the metabolic core of our family, relationships, and community require careful attention and nurturing. Without this cooperative cellular inner resilience, external fixes and adaptations such as medicines or top-down politics will have little effect on the inner capacity of our bodies or the quality of our communal networks. An important point in this constellation is that political representatives need to be part of this circle. We need our representatives to have their feet on the ground, standing side by side with us in circle where they too can be seen and felt and can see and feel their kin and have direct engagement with daily concerns related to nurturing life, and to be held by the community themselves. This is an image of a settlement reconstruction from the Neolithic period in the region of Bavaria. Some see structures like this as fortresses. I see space for a central hearth, for sacred gatherings and celebrations, and housing that would accommodate several generations of lineage under one roof and in close communal proximity. If I were going to build a matriarchal settlement or a settlement that would be conducive to evolved nesting, I'd certainly consider constructing an artful and practical infrastructure that looks something like this. Matriarchal arts, therefore, implies generative activities, behaviors, and skills that spiritually and practically serve life, local economies, and human self-actualization. Creative activities that holistically heal, nurture, and care, honoring the body and the spirit of the artist, the earth, and the community at once. In this way, the mundane tasks of caring for life and one another become sacred responsibilities. When all of this work is outsourced and commodified, we've lost our grounding as spiritual beings. In liberating ourselves from the domestic realm, I have to wonder if we've effectively liberated ourselves, our family, and our community from the capacities for self-determination, agency in the healing arts, and human belonging. So matriarchal arts give dignity to our humanity. They nurture and nourish. They foster communal and earth-aligned intelligence, what we may understand as right brain intelligences or creative intelligence. The practical wares that are created anchor spiritual orientation and the values of the community. And they enhance local economy, interdependence, and reciprocity. Probably everyone on this call knows something about the maternal gift economy movement, which you can find and follow online. It's a very rich and well-established movement that promotes and puts into practice, both locally and internationally, principles of sharing, reciprocity, and care based on the prototype of attuned motherhood. So I also want to say a little bit about baskets while we're on this slide. The baskets in this image were made by me with Palm here on Crete based on a workshop we took locally. But it brings to my mind a story from Robin Wall Kimmerer in her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, where she very, very skillfully and artfully combines poetry and science to tell stories of human relationships, history, and ecology. And she tells a story of the black ash basket makers. And the moral of the story is that where the black ash forests are being harvested, and the basket makers are creating baskets, the forests are actually healthier and thriving more than the forests that are left alone, where the humans are not interacting and harvesting. And I find this a very compelling example of how humans and nature can be in a sensitive relationship that serves everyone's needs. So I want to talk about hands. As my background is in traditional Chinese medicine and craniosacral therapy, the life force embodied in our hands has been astonishing for me to discover in a very kinesthetic way. I think it's not insignificant that in the Chinese system of meridians, the heart channels emerge in the palms of the hands. The point called Laogong in the center of the palm is considered one of the most powerful points in the entire body. And this makes it compelling to consider the potency of life force that is available to us when we create, connect, touch, or heal with our hands. The embroidered piece at the top of this slide is a section of a handmade tea towel from Crete from the early 20th century. And it bears a very common image of ancient art of women joining hands and dancing. From my felt experience, having participated in various forms of circle dance, I personally believe this is a human technology, which is preserved and depicted in handcrafted images on pottery and woven textiles, in archaeological and folk records stretching back to at least the Neolithic period. So it could be understood that when we touch or create something with our hands, we're expressing and learning, not just with our thinking faculties, but with our kinesthetic sensibilities as well as with a direct connection to our heart.
Jennifer, you've got 10 more minutes.
Bravo, thank you. So I'm going to share a few images of art from around the world that I find deeply inspiring for acknowledging our potency of creators in service to life. And these next few images are from Hallie Iglehart Austin's curated collection in her beautiful book, The Heart of the Goddess. So in many Native American mythologies, Spider is regarded as a weaver of creation and of concrete manifestation. As expressed in Paula Gunn Allen's quote, weaving is a metaphor for universal interconnection. And notice the implication of the human hands in this image. I think that's very significant. Another image from Holly's collection, Grandmother Growth. The artist, according to a bio online at the Huichol Center for Cultural Survival, began making yarn paintings to express the ancient stories and myths his grandmother told him when he was growing up. If I were going to try and express what matriarchy means, I don't think that I could do a better job than this. What I witness in this image is an axis, but not a hierarchy, circular organization and a vibrant nucleus, grandmother growth at the foundation, perhaps in a dream state, in a humble, reclined position. There's a feeling of relationship and interconnectedness, as well as diversity and harmonious integration. Breast bowls and pots and jugs have been found all over the world from at least the Neolithic period. And for me, a vessel like this conveys the sacredness of nourishment and our bodies as vessels of nourishment and nurturance. It also elicits an association with the heart of the mother, which maybe was invoked ritually each time milk or other libations were taken from this vessel. So the Kabyles are an ethnic subgroup of the Berbers from Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. And for the Kabyle women, arts are sacred and ritualized in alignment with seasons and cycles of human life and nature. Crossing threads and weaving, for instance, is a ritualized practice understood to create a garment with a spirit of its own. Makalam is a researcher from France who's written at least 2 books on this culture, which is her lineage. She grew up in Kabyle village for about 17 years, and when she became a historian, she was given rare inside access to the women's tradition and perspective on their own history and lineage. Makalam's work helps us understand that women's roles were very central and defining for the entire culture, practically and spiritually. She presented her work at the Second Matriarchal World Congress, and her presentation is available online. And this is a collection that we have in our library at the Council for Revival of Matriarchal Arts. These books by Mary Kelly document patterns and images stitched into women's textiles. It's a beautiful visual and academic resource for remembering lost lineages as they were preserved by the women in European traditional cultures and around the world. And this is a modern example of something that I would call matriarchal art. In a recent Guardian article, the story is told of Peruvian women who are reclaiming the art of weaving in their efforts to heal from a chilling history of systemic trauma and abuse, having been forcefully sterilized. Because of the pain they experienced from the procedures, they gave up their tradition of weaving. It's a compelling example of handcrafting, in my view, and remembering lineage as a modality of activism and healing. And this is a personal inspiration. In the image where I live in Crete, in front of the local mini market, just at the bottom of my driveway, the women are gathered on most summer days, practicing their art of Copanelli. They learned this art when they were just 7 years old during World War II, when their village was occupied. And the villagers were forced from their homes. As I understand it, someone came to the village to teach them this craft. And there was a market for this lace from wealthier parts of the island. And they stitched the elegant Copanelli shapes into white fabric to make beautiful table linens and curtains to adorn the home. They helped their families survive the devastating period of the war with this craft. All right, so this is a collection I put together just to contrast what I would call matriarchal art with some of the things we see and interact with on a daily basis in the modern world. Not made with our own hands, but certainly imprinting ideas and ideals on our psyches from something outside of us. Markets, states, rituals of competition and winning, symbols of wealth and hierarchy, and general commodification. I think it's important to consider what can happen when our practical wares are not made by our own hands and self-determined intentions and do not reinforce our values, but subtly instill values defined by someone else. And this is just another slide to highlight that contrast. The teacups in the image are made by Kirsten, who's here on this call. She's an artist, a Danish artist, who's been inspired by Neolithic images, especially from Neolithic Crete, and has been crafting pottery and textiles for her entire career. She's been a great inspiration to us here. So finally, beginning again, as the life cycle goes, through the Council for Revival of Matriarchal Arts, we're beginning very humbly once again to relearn the wisdom of our ancestors. We're going back to the very basics of learning to cross threads and gather regularly in a warm space to practice harmony with one another, to craft our own wares, our own food and medicine, and what it means to practice what it means to respect the earth and all her creatures. We hope we're throwing seeds to inspire future generations to cross their own threads and to nurture the earth and their communities with their own felt awareness in their own hands. The Women's Wisdom and Scholarship Circle is another aspect of the time we spend together. We read and dialogue about scholarly works, documentaries, articles, etc., that highlight matriarchal patterns, women's spirituality, and authors and perspectives on history that were not typically included in our mainstream education. And this is a photo collage of our beginnings, the beginning of our process, learning to weave again with our very inspiring teacher, Dina. We're learning to warp the loom, prepare the loom, step by step, understanding how to plan a project, learning that weaving is not as easy as it looks or as one might think. And it's been a really profound experience, both coming together and going through some of these activities that our ancestors did traditionally. So finally, this is the logo we've crafted for the Council for Revival of Matriarchal Arts. And our guiding principles are to gather in cooperation and kinship, and to become artisans of health, harmony, and relational integrity that will translate to all levels of social function through a ripple effect. We believe that the modern hearth will be the rebirthing sanctuary where lineage is remembered, human despair consoled, and a resilient future forged. It's in this spirit that we're rekindling the hearth and waving renewal. Yes, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. This is so wonderful. I mean, we're all numbed by all of this. Can you please remind us? You were telling me that there is going to be an event that you're organizing maybe in the fall, and it would be nice for us to know, or maybe to be able to help you to create this weaving. We're weaving together in a way. And so if you can tell us about, and then we'll go to the questions. So we can go back to the questions. And we have a moment in which we will divide ourselves in rooms and answer and talk to each other for about 10 minutes through questions, and then we'll come back and share. So this is the part in which we know each other and we share also all of our wisdoms and thoughts. So please, Jennifer, if you want to give us some information.
Yeah, well, we would love, once we get past the stage of having our training wheels on, to have people come here and do residencies with us and retreats and things like that. But in the near future, for the fall in particular, we're organizing a retreat to a traditional weaving village in the Peloponnese, where the craft of weaving rugs has been handed down from grandmother to mother to daughter, and the daughter is carrying on this tradition. And they still do weaving with natural materials from the local environment. And yeah, so soon the details aren't set. It's going to be in October, towards the end of October. I'll have a flyer soon. We expect that we're going to be able to offer a few scholarships for the workshop portion of the costs involved. So I will be sure to share that with you when it's organized. I should have that all settled within the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We can't wait. I will go now to, so the idea is that we have 10 minutes in groups of two, and you have to answer to each other. You have to talk to each other. You answer these three questions that Jennifer has put down for us. So I will put them in the chat. Can taking up the arts of our ancestors bring us somehow closer to the wisdom of our lineages? Where and how do you feel moved to create and handcraft to serve your community? And third question, what visions, wisdom, and intentions for your local community or the world would you etch into your own handcrafted daily? So these are open questions, obviously, because they're very complex, and I would say that it's not going to be enough to have 10 minutes of sharing between each other, but it is just the beginning, sort of opening up to this idea of through, this arts, we are going to connect in a deeper way and bring back our traditions, our spiritual traditions, into our sacred traditions, into the life of our communities. So let's.
Well, I have a slide with the questions if you want me to put them up for a moment, so everybody can see them. They're a little bit complex questions. Does anybody want to see them or?
Yeah, you can put them, but they're online. So whenever I'm gonna make groups now. I'm gonna
Okay.
organize sessions, and so it's we have 10 people. I'm gonna create 5 rooms, And so I mean if somebody, and then you can share, you can go into the room, and you can share your these questions and talk to your, I mean, I'm just opening the groups, and you're gonna be falling with I don't know who, but it's great, it's a surprise. And then we're gonna come back, and maybe you can sort of share, the sort of the juice of what your conversation was about. Maybe you can choose one question, maybe you can talk about the three, but it's about, sort of relating and sharing all of this that we heard through Jennifer. Do you want to? Okay, the questions are here. They're not going to be seen. And we go. So here you are. Okay. So you can enter the rooms. And I know that Patricia and 55, 19, 5. Allora, 55 a 7,5. Che c'è? Welcome back.
Hello.
Are you all here? Well, I'm very curious to know how did it go into the breakout rooms? And this is, sharing space. We have like 10 minutes and we can share what you have shared. Um, the sort of the essence of what you've been talking about. So you just unmute yourself and please share with us.
I can start
Yes.
from my side. Those are really hard questions, first of all. So I wish I already had the questions and thought on them before, but my first answers was like for the first one, I think it's really important because it's the connection between us, between me and my mother, and potentially me and with my daughter. It's the teaching and it's the learning part. And for the second thing, I thought I would teach and share my knowledge. For example, making useful things, useful clothes from leftover clothes to kids with lots of games. And in a community or in a village where I feel belong and where I receive and also give. That would be the best place for me. And we couldn't get into third question because of the time. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. If anybody else wants to share, with who were you in the room, Mariam?
With Yenia, did I spell it right?
No, Xenia.
Xenia. Okay, sorry, Xenia.
No problem.
And you want to add something, Xenia, to what Mariam said?
No, not really. For me, it was a bit, I thought also it were complex questions, and I think I need to think a bit more about it before I come up with more answers. So, no.
Thank you. Well, the idea, I think, for Jennifer was to bring this question to your attention, but as a way to think about it, as a part of, of introspection and coming with some. It is really about creating. I mean, for me, these questions are really very deep and important because you are creating new communities, new islands of sanity through these arts, and also coming back to the traditions. I thought, what is Jennifer doing? I think it's amazing. I mean, she has a lot of courage to bring all of this and to create something so deep. I mean, I really was touched, by the idea that hands, our hands are really a heart that is pulsing. And I would like to share with you that the CRETE are in reality not, they're courses in which we really deeply look at our hands and live our hands as the most important part of the community building. I don't know, Jennifer, with who were you in the room? You want to share your thoughts and your ideas, or what was?
I was with Agata, but maybe Agata would like to speak. I feel like I've already spoken too much. I'd love to hear what others have to say.
Okay.
We had a nice conversation.
Yeah. I think it was interesting that we had this, I think, similar experience that my mom also and Jennifer's mom wanted to pass this knowledge of sewing to her and to me actually. But for me, the feeling was that I was engaged in a different culture that wanted me to have different skills. And I had this feeling that I have to do something else more practical and more logical. So I was actually very like, no, I don't need it. I don't want it. So this kind of something culturally happens that actually I didn't have this calling or didn't have this eagerness actually to learn how to sew because my mom did our clothes and all of it, you know, and I really know that now and also Jennifer said like 20 years later, okay, I really wish I can do it. But let's say I felt that the culture didn't support. I grown up in a bigger city. So this is something that made me sad in a way and something like on the other side that we can, you know, work with the hands again and through what also your work, right? And I also said that I was living 2 years in a community, an intentional community, and we tried to, but it was very interesting experience also from the dynamics of patriarchy and matriarchy, you know, what I experienced. So I'm just very interested in this topic, but I also shared that this is very abstract. So my heart can follow what Jennifer was saying, and there is some deep longing for that, but I didn't experience this kind of community. So it's still very abstract in my head, actually. So how to create it and where's the real role and how everything goes in place and so on, knowing that I was socialized and conditioned in a culture that is patriarchal. So a lot of, you know, topics, questions of deconditioning and really put this into reality and to really in life, you know. So I have probably more questions than I had before, but which is good. So this is actually what
Great. Yes.
came up.
We're all on this journey, Agatha. We're all on this journey. We are all intoxicated and we're all on this journey. So I really think we need to do something about it. And yes, so I guess someone else wants to share.
I can share a little bit.
Yes.
Helly, I think Helly was her name. She left, and we had a great conversation. We only talked about the first question, and we talked a lot about doing with our hands. And she shared because she's doing Tai Chi, how the energy flows, and if we do something with our hands, it also goes into the object. And that's really what I feel, that if we like, first of all, if we do the crafts of our ancestors, we tap into the stream and we might get knowledge from the ancestors otherwise that we couldn't achieve through books and other things. So it's like really in this doing process and connecting to our roots. And then also if you craft an object, it has a soul, it has your feelings, it has your love, and it's so much more precious and valuable and beautiful than something you buy, I don't know, in a store for €2 and which is manufactured, mass produced. And one more really interesting thing, like yesterday I had a 3 hours conversation with a woman, a patriarchal woman, talking about patriarchy, and she was all in this consumerism and she couldn't look beyond it. And now I realized in this short conversation that when we start doing with our hands things ourselves, we overcome the consumerism because we see how long it takes to do something and how beautiful it is to give something. It goes from consuming to giving. I feel like if I make something and gift, and I do a lot of crafts and I gift it, and it has such soul and spirit. And she was always talking about, yeah, but it's not about only surviving. I need this and I want. I was like, maybe if we start doing things you don't want anymore, you're just happy with what you can make and what you can give. And I think that's one step further, ultimately also what will help us with AI. It's a different thing, but because things we do really with soul, because things AI creates or intelligence creates or machine creates, it doesn't have the soul. And if we start creating things and to recognize what has a soul, what is with love, we can also recognize what's not with love. And that will help us to discern what's real and what's fake in the end. I think that's like a huge thing, but that was just a nice realization And yeah, thank you for
Thank
this
you.
space.
Thank you. Someone else wants to share? I mean,
Yeah, hi. I was paired with Kirsten, and so okay, we know each other because we're part of the Council for Matriarchal Arts, and we were talking about what both of us have in our hearts, which is to teach the younger Cretan girls to start with art, with weaving, with pottery that Kirsten is so gifted at, because we feel that several generations have been lost who of women who didn't have time. Suddenly, women were working, which they weren't 40, 50 years ago. They weren't allowed to work. And now they want to work. And as you said, Corey, to get things. And so we need what we'd like to do is to start workshops as soon as we have the space and as soon as we're able to bring in younger girls from 10, 11, and start teaching them the joy of creating, the joy of making something yourself. It's because there's nothing like that. And then to be able to gift it is even better, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what we talked about, and I've spoken for Kirsten because she can't turn her microphone on.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, it really is. We are so touched by your presence, all of you, and by your project. I mean, it's a great project, and it gives us a lot of inspiration for our communities. And this will be we recorded this call, and I will send it to Jennifer to share because it's really important. What you are doing is really precious, really precious. And so I'm very, very happy that you were able to give us your time, be with us. And Jenny, if you want to close, I mean, we had there was a woman, Michelle, I think, that was supposed to sing, but Jennifer is going to close this call with a song. And I think it is such a wonderful way to close a song. So thank you so much for being with us. And I hope to meet you in Crete. And I hope that you will come to Italy or you'll come to Portugal, to Nashira or whatever, that we'll meet again and we will weave together a community.
I would love that.
Sorry,
Thank
before we close, can I ask something maybe?
Yeah, sure, Xenia.
Yeah, sure, thank you. Um, I've noticed in the presentation there was a logo of the network of eco-villages,
Yes.
and I read their newsletter, and they don't seem to be, I think it's a great idea that they exist and they do the things, but they don't seem to be particularly matriarchal to me. And I was wondering, maybe you established a good relationship with them, or what would be your connection with this network? Because yeah, it would be just very interesting to know
Well,
if you could.
Jan is part, I mean, if you're talking about Jan, Global Eco-Village
Yeah, exactly.
Network, yes, it's not true that it's not, well, it's not matriarchal because it's very, we're bringing matriarchal communities and matriarchal knowledge and values around the world. And Gen it's an eco-village network that is doing a lot of great work, not necessarily matriarchal, but I mean, there are very few communities that are matriarchal in the world and modern matriarchal communities, but they are very open. I mean, they're very open, and actually
Okay.
the SHE-EDE is part of the GEN and the Guy Education Project. And so we're bringing all of this around the world. It's it's a long journey of changing, changing the paradigm, changing the story. So we're all here to change it. And so and we know how, 6,000 years of patriarchal history, it's not going to be an easy task, but if we unite together, we will probably make an effort to change it. So we're here all for this. So please, Jennifer, let's make this song of the sacred fire, a sacred fire for us to become, whatever, these women that are egalitarian and peaceful and loving in maternal gift economy, and for everyone, not just for women, for everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, Sabina. So inspired by what you're doing as well. And we try to open and close our space with a dance, a song, a meditation, something, to make sure that we remember the sacred value of what we're doing. And this one, because the hearth fire is such an important element of our vision, is a song we like to sing a lot. So I will lead us, and you can sing together with. And hopefully I'm going to be able to carry a tune. I think we'll sing it through 3 times. Is that okay? All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. All together. So you unmute yourself if you want to sing, and we'll sing together. The first one, we'll give it to you, Jennifer. Then we'll lead for the rest.
I think unmuted will not work, but we can try.
I know. I don't know how it's going to sound if we're all on mute, but let's sing and see what happens. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in my dream time. Bring me visions of light. Circle round, spiral down into this heart open wide. Healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. With me. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in my dream time. Bring me visions of light. Circle round, spiral down into this heart open wide. Healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. One more time. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in my dream time. Bring me visions of light. Circle round, spiral down into this heart open wide. Healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry.
Wonderful. You were right, Corey. It would have been a mess. But thank you so much. This is so wonderful. Thank you so much.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much. Just such a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Good luck, my dear friend. We're all in this together. Okay, so make it happen. We make it happen.
Together.
Together. Oh, bye-bye. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.